In this video, I'll be going over the option chain function. The option chain function returns the full option chain for a given ticker symbol. First, we'll start by clicking on a cell and typing an equal sign and then the name of our function, which is option chain. Then we'll type an open parentheses, and as with every function in Trade Defender, our first parameter is our application key. You can see that my application key is in cell C2. Our next parameter is our symbol. So here, I'll type MSFT for Microsoft. Next, we have the start date. The start date allows us to specify the earliest dated options that we'd like to see returned. Here, I'll type February 1st, 2017. All dates in Trade Defender are formatted with 4-digit years, 2-digit months, and 2-digit days, separated by dashes. After that, we have the end date. The end date allows us to specify the latest dated options we'd like to see. I'll set this 2 years later. After that, we have columns. Columns allows us to specify which columns we'd like to see returned in which order. If we leave this blank, all columns will be returned. Here, I'll specify a few. So, underlying, strike price, expiration date, and implied volatility. After that, we have type. Type allows us to specify whether we'd like to see just calls, just puts, or both. If we'd like to see just calls, we type in calls. If we'd like to see just puts, we type in puts. Or if we'd like to see all, we type in all. By default, this is set to all, so it can be left blank if you'd like all options to be returned. Next, we have values only. Values only allows us to specify whether we would or would not like to see column headers returned. By default, this is set to 0, meaning that column headers will be returned, but we can set it to 1 if we'd like them to be removed. Last, we have transform. Transform allows us to specify whether we'd like our data to be returned vertically or horizontally. By default, this is set to 0 for vertically, but we can set it to 1 if we'd like it to be horizontal. We'll leave it at 0 for now. Then we'll type a closed parentheses and hit enter. And here, you can see that the underlying, strike price, expiration date, and implied volatility have been returned for all of the options between February 1st, 2017 and February 1st, 2019. Now, if we'd like to see all of the columns, we'll just remove this string between the two commas in the columns parameter. And here we have all of the data about the options between those two dates. If we'd like to limit it to calls, we'd go into the type parameter and specify calls. And you can see here that all of the returned options are calls. If you have any questions about this function or other functions in Trade Defender, please visit tradedefender.com/docs or email us at support@tradedefender.com. Thank you.